Imagine a vampire clan built on passion and rebellion. Clan Brujah traces its bloodline back to one of the oldest vampires, an antediluvian, sometimes called Ilias. According to legend, a child named Troil rebelled against this philosopher-king and committed diablerie, drinking their sire's soul, and most modern Brujah descend from Troil. A small offshoot called the True Brujah insists they descend from the original antediluvian rather than the usurper. These true Brujah are calm and detached, often hiding among their fiery cousins and believing they will one day bring the usurpers back into the fold. After Troil's betrayal, the Brujah sought to build a utopia that reflected their ideals. They founded Carthage, sometimes called the Third City, which was dominated by Brujah, but also included Banu Hakim and Lasombra vampires. In Carthage, blood sorcery was openly shared. The elder Critias later said the Brujah dream was a philosopher-king society ruled with logic and respect. This dream clashed with the Roman vampires. Patrician clans such as the Ventru and Malkavians saw Carthage's openness with mortals as dangerous and accused the Brujah of mass sacrifice and diablerie. During the Punic Wars, the Brujah general Meneli, a Spartan king turned vampire, fought Rome fiercely. A Toreador Methuselah named Helena defected to Rome and betrayed Carthage's defenses. With her intelligence, Roman-backed kindred destroyed the city. Meneli survived and swore a vendetta against Helena that would echo through later centuries. The destruction of Carthage remains a defining trauma. Brujah radicals remember it as a utopia where vampires and mortals lived openly, or as a benevolent dictatorship of kindred philosophers, or even a dark vampire paradise. To the conservative Camarilla, it represents hubris and horror. Either way, Carthage's fall fuels the Brujah's ancient hatred of the Ventru. In the Middle Ages, the Brujah balanced roles as warrior scholars and rabble. Young Brujah chafed at the authority of their elders. This tension burst into the First Anarch Revolt in the late 14th century, when Brujah, Lasombra, and Banu Hakim neonates rose up against their elders and the traditions. This revolt coincided with the Mortal Inquisition, and both elders and rebels suffered. In 1493, a conclave called the Convention of Thorns sought to end the bloodshed. Elder vampires proposed an alliance, what became the Camarilla, and agreed to hide their existence behind a law called the Masquerade. Representatives of the Lasombra and the Ministry, then called the Followers of Set, refused the deal, and the Brujah elder Tyler, Patricia of Bolingbroke, stormed out in protest. Many Anarch leaders nonetheless signed and recognized the Camarilla's laws, while those who refused formed the Sabbat. Brujah became one of the Camarilla's high clans, yet their temper and unwillingness to obey led older vampires to call them the rabble. Passion kept drawing the Brujah into mortal revolutions. During the French Revolution, and again during the uprisings of May 1968 in Paris, Brujah anarchs stirred crowds and helped overthrow princes. In 1917, Brujah neonates in the Soviet Union embraced the chaos of the October Revolution. They destroyed elders and formed the Brujah Council, also called the Congress of the Revolutionary Council. Their stated aim was an egalitarian society inspired by Carthage, but they soon declared mortals to be tools and food. The council purged kindred who sympathized with mortals and manipulated humans for easy feeding. When the mortal Soviet state collapsed, princes reclaimed their territories, and even the anarchs felt betrayed by the council's hypocrisies. The Second Anarch Revolt erupted in Los Angeles during the mid-20th century. The Camarilla's prince, Don Sebastian, a Toreador, ruled harshly. Brujah Jeremy McNeil rallied kindred across the domain, and Salvador Garcia led an open rebellion. In 1944, Don Sebastian reportedly met final death at Garcia's hands. From the uprising emerged the Anarch Free States, a patchwork of barons and gangs who cooperated only during crises. These free states survived Sabbat attacks and Camarilla attempts to reconquer them, becoming a model for Anarch autonomy and Brujah pride. By the early 21st century, the mortal war on terror exposed kindred finances and communications, giving rise to the Second Inquisition. According to Anarch sources, Camarilla elders secretly steered this mortal inquisition toward Sabbat and Anarch havens. Outrage boiled over at the Conclave of Prague, sometimes called the Convention of Prague by Anarchs, where the Camarilla's plan was revealed. Brujah Archon Theo Bell publicly decapitated the elder Hardestat and attacked Jan Peterson. The violence sparked a third Anarch revolt. News of Bell's actions spread like wildfire. Cities flipped allegiance, the Anarch movement swelled, and Brujah across the world abandoned the Camarilla. The Camarilla admitted that the departure of the Gangrel and Brujah left them without justicars. The conclave collapsed into chaos, and the Camarilla responded by tightening technological restrictions and adopting an invite-only policy for membership. Brujah Anarchs saw these measures as further proof of the elders' tyranny. In modern Knights, most Brujah stand with the Anarchs. A scholarly minority, sometimes called the Hellenes, remains within the Camarilla and clings to classical ideals. Anarch Brujah, who emphasize revolution, are known as Prometheans. The clan continues to embrace mortals from countercultures, activists, fighters, and critical thinkers. Outsiders often dismiss them as punks, yet even critics admit the Brujah are driven by causes and can be formidable warriors. They are passionate and ferocious, but they value debate and learning, often trying to guide mortals through activism and politics. The ancient hatred of the Ventru still burns. Menli, who swore vengeance against Helena after Carthage, inspired a cult called the Menlians that seeks to build a new Carthage and spread philosopher-king ideals. Menli's long feud with Helena shaped centuries of conflict in Chicago, and even after he vanished, his followers wondered whether their devotion came from his ideals or his blood. Another Brujah faction, Critias's Enteleki school, also tries to rekindle a rational Brujah society. Several Brujah have become icons. Troil, the rebellious child who diablerized the Brujah antediluvian, remains the clan's mythical progenitor. Manel exemplified the philosopher-king ideal and carried the memory of Carthage. Critias, his child, continues to champion Carthage's philosophical vision. Tyler, the elder who slew Hardestat at the Convention of Thorns, stands as an early symbol of Brujah defiance. Jeremy McNeil and Salvador Garcia are remembered for toppling Don Sebastian and creating the Anarch Free States. Theo Bell became a modern hero after he killed Hardestat at Prague and catalyzed the Brujah exodus. Finally, the true Brujah continue to lurk in the shadows, studying time and claiming to be the real heirs of the clan. From a mythic founding steeped in betrayal, through the utopian dream and fiery destruction of Carthage, to centuries of revolts and revolutions, Clan Brujah's history is one of passion and upheaval. They oscillate between scholar and anarchist, between utopian dreams and violent rage. Whether called rabble or Hellenes, the Brujah remain one of the most politically engaged and ideologically driven clans in the world of darkness. Stay engaged with the world of darkness. If you enjoyed this journey through Clan Brujah's history, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep lore dives, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know which clan or story you'd like us to explore next, and keep the masquerade alive.